The worst.
And don't worry, you know how wooden suns are.
Yeah, wooden suns are the worst. They smell like a hamster cage and they look like Pee Wee Herman.
I'm Jimmy Fritz. I need all you dozens of viewers out there to just tell me how you like this, alright? Welcome to the show.
The arsonist has oddly shaped feet. Hey friends. Well, she's got this craving because she's preggo. She's got a craving for radishes.
You want a what?
A radish. A very special radish with blue leaves.
She obsesses over them. She whines about them all the time. She dreams about them. And the dream about the radishes is the thing from this entire series that scarred me the most. That's scary. I don't care who you are. I like how the toms came in the beginning. God, even the background piano music is so unsettling. Who got that job?
Long ago tales, and she told me that one day 2 spider sisters came out of a hole in the ground, and they saw all the beauty that surrounds Acoma. The mesa's beautiful.
Every single one they managed to miss. Some of them by only...
New faces.
The Cape Verde Islands fall under Portuguese.
I
was under the impression that in a matriarchy, the women would be treated like queens. I was under the impression that in a matriarchy, the women would be treated like queens and the men would be doing most of the hard work. But it seems like women are working way harder here.
After tea, Luzu's mom proudly took me out to the field. She'd worked and farmed her whole life.
Hello everyone, Taylor here. Today I am going to be asking Rashida some of your most common questions. All right, starting things off strong here. Rashida, are you pregnant? No. You guys, that question offended her. So, stop. Look, do you want the zucchini? Do you want the zucchini? Who turns down a zucchini? Supreme squash. Come here, stop sniffing Goody's butt. Come, zucchini. It's the supreme squash. Come here, stop sniffing Goody's butt. Come here. Come here. Rashida, listen to me. You need to be respectful. Stop. Stay. Stop. Rashida. Stop. Goody, stay here. She's out. Ah.
Cody, stay here. She's out. Oh.
Okay, there we go. Now we're comfortable. Okay. Rashida, stop. Okay. Hi, Rashida. Freaking exhausting.
To reprimand me just for taking some of his apples.
Yeah, those merchants are real dicks about that kind of stuff.
Right.
No prob. I do it all the time. I do it all the time.
Wow, you live here?
Well, I'm squatting here.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess right now. It's hard to keep a big place like this clean.
Well, don't you have someone to clean it for you, like a slave?
Well, I got this monkey, but he only cleans.
Informazione della sala Borromini fosse stata Emanuele Aubani.
Cioè, quel pomeriggio.
Il pomeriggio
del 22 giugno.
22 giugno, sì.
E questa ragazza che le ha chiesto l'informazione era in compagnia.
Era in compagnia.
Hold your farts in. They travel up your spine and into your brain. And that is where shitty ideas come from. No.
Let's sign it. Mama! Good job!
If anything were ever to happen to me, I would want you to get remarried.
Okay.
I was a little fast.
Oh no, I just want to make you happy.
Any idea of who you would
Vicky
marry?
Conroy, probably. She works in my office. She's very organized. The kids love her.
Are you guys talking about Vicky?
Yeah.
Mom, she's awesome.
Just so you know, if something were to happen to me,
Something's gonna happen to you, all right.
Years ago, Petunia, where?
You will stay here, and you will not leave this room. Do you understand me? Do you understand me?
Yes, Mrs. The state's case against him relies heavily on circumstantial evidence, and a third acquittal is already been predicted.
Never shall innocent blood be shed. Yet the blood of the wicked shall flow like a river.
Now you will receive us. We do not ask for your poor or your hungry. We do not want your tired and sick.
It is your corrupt we claim.
It is your evil that will be sought by us.
With every breath, we shall hunt them down.
Each day, we will spill their blood till it rains down from the skies.
Do not kill. Do not rape. Do not steal. These are principles which every man of every faith can embrace.
These are not polite suggestions. These are codes of behavior, and those of you that ignore them will pay the dearest cost.
There are varying degrees of evil. We urge you lesser forms of filth, not to push the bounds and cross over into true corruption, into our domain.
But if you do, one day you will look behind you and you will see we three. And on that day, you will reap it.
And we will send you to whatever God you wish.
And shepherds we shall be, for thee, my Lord, for thee. Power hath descended forth from thy hand. May swiftly carry out thy command. So we shall flow river forth to thee, and teeming with souls shall it ever be. In nomine Patri,
et Filii, Spiritus Sancti.
What is that?
A kelpie. Don't see many of those in these parts.
She must be theirs.
Will she take us to them?
I'll ask her. Nicely.
He stomps away, followed closely by Freya.
I enjoyed your story, Kratos. Pity it has to end so soon.
The place is falling apart.
There's got to be another way down.
Of cake showed her frivolity and extravagance, along with her disconnect to the French population, who was suffering greatly. She fell from grace heavily and spent her last few days in prison, a sharp departure from the rich lifestyle she was living. Today we look at the brutal execution of Marie Antoinette, and remember to support our channel.
Get into the hysteria and trials themselves, that the distinction between what made one a witch and what didn't was different than today. Modern witches are distinguished from monotheists much more by their practices and beliefs than they were in 1692. So what did make one a witch at the time of the hysteria? It's simple, really. It's not what you did or what you claim to believe as much as it is who you did it for. That's right, our old pal Satan. Quite simply, a witch in 1692 Salem was one in the service of the devil. It didn't really matter what kind of person you were perceived as, it mattered what others believed about your intentions and in whose service you were thought to have lived. So, could you be a minister of God and be a witch? Yep. How about a church elder who's only ever done good for their community? Sure. Anyone, really. That's why the trials were so dangerous. They were grounded entirely in misperception, manipulation, and mass hysteria. And it was this perception of witchcraft that was central to the outbreak of accusations and ultimately the horrific traumas endured by hundreds of innocent people. But before all that, there was a slave named Tituba and a child named Betty Paris, and it was their relationship as well as the involvement of every single person in the Paris household that set off the firestorm of chaos and carnage known as the Salem witch trials. And then
Frey will encounter numerous points of interest in her travels. Many of these landmarks and locations have been corrupted or overrun with corrupted enemies.
ببین چی میگم من 5 نفر گذاشتم پیش حاج آقا اجازه بده یه لحظه اجازه بده
I was 16 at the time, and it struck me, my God, we're all here together. They could take us away without anyone noticing. And that thought weighed very heavily on me. But thank God that never came to pass. That's my close-up. I like the fact that they shot a close-up of me.
Filthy, dirty. We're 3 years old.
Rosemary now lives in London and has decided to travel back to Ireland in an attempt to search for information about her father.
And like he's got all these people fawning around him. Some of them are like standing there like stroking his clothing, like, oh, look at your jacket, is so beautiful. It's it's mind control, basically. They're mind controlled to think he's the coolest thing in the world, and that's what I tell her. You think this guy is just the most attractive, interesting, captivating person you've ever seen. Like you're
Change of plans.
Вот так. Молодцы. Все будет прекрасно. А теперь...
हाँ मैं उससे कुछ चर्च उससे लेना और समरबान.
Already, he's breaking the promise he made to Afzal.
अच्छा तुम्हें भी मूवियों में आने का शौक है?
बहुत शौक है मुझे.
तुम्हारी सबसे पसंदीदा मूवी कौन सी है जो तुमने देखी?
मेरा है पखरिया पुआनी. ये अच्छा फिल्म है. उसमें देख रहे जो अच्छा कर रहे वो बच जा रहे, जो गलत काम कर रहे तो वो आखिरी में मरता है.
There are 2 cinemas on this street.
इसलिए इस शो में मैं जा रहा हूँ. उसमें इसलिए नहीं जा रहा हूँ. उधर उसमें सारा प्राण लगता है. प्राण लग रहे तो उसमें सारा लोग मुट मार रहे, कभी बच्चे का बुन मार रहे, कभी क्या कर रहे. तो इस वजह से हम इसमें इसलिए आया. जब इसमें कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, खाली सिगरेट नशे वाला लोग इधर बैठते हैं.
तो अभी तुम जाओगे, तुम कुछ लोग हैं इनके साथ?
हाँ मैं उससे कुछ चर्च उससे लेना. और समरबान.
Four days have passed since Afzal first raised the possibility of Naeem moving to Karachi. Thinking he'd been forgotten, the boy had begun to despair and returned to drugs.
Left the estate so that they could start their lives on their own. Jefferson himself, contrary to his own practices, was opposed to slavery as an institution. Still, this did not prompt him to free all of his own slaves. The fact that he granted as they left the estate so that they could start their lives on their own. Jefferson himself, intimate with Sally Hemings, came from Jefferson himself. Jefferson owned over 500 slaves on his plantation, and of all those slaves, he only ever granted freedom to a small handful. That small handful was comprised of Sally Hemings and her children as they came of age. They were not only granted their freedom, but also given a stipend as they left the estate so that they could start their lives on their own. Jefferson himself, contrary to his own practices, was opposed to slavery.
Was trained to salute any recipient of the Mother's Cross. On top of this, one account from the book Youth Glossary National Socialism Terminology from the Era of Dictatorship 1933 to 1945 notes, they were always given the best of everything: housing, food.
Knowing whether the mutes might come in with a bowstring and finish them off.
Difficulty with the cage, of course, is that it meant that the princes were withdrawn from the day-to-day running of the empire, so on their...
That's right, our old pal Satan. Quite simply, a witch in 1692 Salem was one in the service of the devil. It didn't really matter what kind of person you were perceived as, it mattered what others believed about your intentions and in whose service you were thought to have lived. So, could you be a minister of God and be a witch?
Good day, sir.
She's not for sale.
Oh, I love dogs. Всего сука я цвайцена.
А вот и сука нет.
Да кого себе держит? You have good day, sir.
The state's case against him relies heavily on circumstantial evidence, and the third acquittal is already... The state's case against him relies heavily on circumstantial evidence, and the third acquittal is already been predicted.
Never shall innocent blood be shed, yet the blood of the wicked shall flow like a river. The three shall spread their blackened wings and be the vengeful striking hammer of God.
He doesn't have a care in the world. He's gonna walk.
Are you lying to me?
There are many things that I have done against your will.